Tonight, as you prepare to rest, I invite you to remember a sacred truth, that your imagination is not a fantasy, but the very creative force of the universe. What you impress upon your mind in those quiet, drifting moments before sleep holds the power to shape your waking world. The secret lies not in striving, but in surrendering your desire to the felt reality of it already being fulfilled. You do not beg the universe, you do not plead, you do not ask as one who is uncertain. You assume the end. You sink into it. As your body relaxes into stillness, allow your mind to rise in vision. See only what you would see if your wish were already granted. Hear what you would hear. Feel what you would feel. The key is the feeling. You must move beyond the words of the desire and live from the state of its fulfillment. This is not a doing, but a becoming. In the quiet of the night, you slip into the skin of the one who already has what they want. You do not ask, will it come? You do not say, I hope. You say, it is done. Your dream becomes the reality in which you now dwell. Your senses in imagination are more real than the senses of the outer world. That is the gateway to creation. You speak not to an outside force, but to the deeper self within, the one who knows no lack, no time, no impossibility. You commune with this self by embodying your desire in the silence. Just before sleep, when the walls between the conscious and the subconscious are thinnest, you plant the seed, and you do so by imagining the scene that would naturally follow the realization of your desire. Do not concern yourself with how it will unfold. That is not your role. Your work is to feel the scene so vividly, so naturally, that it becomes more than thought. It becomes experience. And once you have felt it real, you let go. You drift into sleep, not with longing, but with satisfaction. The satisfied mind is the fertile soil for the miracle. So when you lie down tonight, remember this power. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Occupy that state. Rest in it. Trust it. And know that as you sleep, the unseen forces are rearranging themselves to reflect your inner assumption. What you accept as true in that sacred space between waking and sleep, that is what you will call reality. And as you lie in that sacred stillness, let go of the world around you. Let go of the facts, the figures, the appearances that may seem to contradict your desire. Those are but shadows, echoes of old thoughts that no longer serve you. Do not be fooled by them. The outer world is a mirror, not a master. It reflects only what has been accepted within. So turn away from appearances and turn inward, where your true power lies. In this moment, just before sleep, you become the author of your reality. Your mind is open, soft, receptive, a divine womb ready to receive the seed of your imagination. Choose your thoughts with care, not from fear or lack, but from joy, from knowing. If you wish to be loved, then feel what it would be like to fall asleep in the arms of that love. If you wish for abundance, then feel the deep relief, the freedom, the gratitude of already having more than enough. Do not imagine the process, imagine the result. Do not imagine the journey, imagine the arrival. For your imagination does not concern itself with means, only with ends. The question is not whether it will work. The question is, will you persist in the assumption? For one moment of doubt can unravel what hours of faith have woven. But if you remain faithful to the vision, if you return to it night after night as one returns home, then the world must conform. The universe is compelled to reflect what you accept as true in your inner world. This is law, unbreakable and impersonal. It responds not to pleading, but to belief. So ask not by word, but by assuming. The assumption is the silent prayer that never goes unheard. Feel it real. That is your language to the universe. That is the signal, the frequency, the command. There is no force more magnetic than a heart that believes it already has what it desires. Such a heart draws the seen and unseen alike, arranging people, places, and events to bring forth the thing imagined. You must become the thing long before it appears. You must live in the feeling, not just touch it lightly, but dwell in it, marinate in it. Let it become so normal to you that anything else begins to feel strange. This is the secret. To be so at home in your vision that it no longer feels like fantasy, but like memory. Because it is a memory from the deeper part of you that already lives in the fulfillment. Tonight, as you close your eyes, step into the life you desire, not as a wishful dreamer, but as the one who already lives it. If you long for success, then feel the thrill of accomplishment. If you yearn for healing, then feel the vitality coursing through your body. If you want peace, then let it wash over you like a soft wave. You are not faking it, you are creating it. Your feeling is the first manifestation. The outer world is only the echo, the inner world is the cause. When you change your inner conversations, when you revise your memories, when you imagine boldly and lovingly, you are rewriting the script of your life. No matter what has happened, no matter how long you have waited, it is never too late to turn the tide. Creation is finished, all possibilities exist. You are simply selecting the one you desire by aligning with its frequency. And what is that frequency? It is the feeling of already being the person who has what you want. That is how you ask. You do not beg the universe, you commune with it by being it. You rise into that identity in thought, in sensation, in assumption. And once you claim it, even in silence, it becomes yours. There is no need to strain, there is no need to force. The power is in the ease, the naturalness of the assumption. If it feels like effort, you are still trying. But when it feels like surrender, when it feels like slipping into something that was always yours, then you are aligned. Let your desire feel like a familiar friend, not a distant fantasy. Let it be something you remember, not something you chase. Tonight, when you ask the universe, do it without words. Let the language be emotion. Let the conversation be sensation. Visualize the moment after the thing has happened, not the wish, but the fulfillment. Who are you in that moment? What do you see, hear, and feel? Let that vision be so rich, so textured, that it becomes more real to you than anything in the waking world. You may feel the temptation to doubt. That's natural. The old self will try to rise again and remind you of the facts, but you are not bound by facts. You are bound only by your assumptions. So when doubt arises, return gently to your vision. Do not fight the doubt. Replace it. Starve it by feeding your faith. Nourish the vision until it becomes your dwelling place. As you fall asleep, do not carry the burdens of the day. Do not rehearse your fears or replay your failures. That is asking the universe for more of what you do not want. Instead, revise the day, see it as you wished it had gone. Imagine the kind words spoken, the doors opened, the good news received. In doing so, you rewrite not only the past, but the future. You are the dreamer of the dream. But more than that, you are the creator of the dream. The dream responds to you, molds itself around your inner state. So when you ask the universe tonight, ask as one who knows, ask as one who receives. Ask not with longing, but with gratitude. And let that gratitude be your pillow. Let it carry you into sleep with the sweetness of fulfillment. And if you wake in the night, do not return to worry. Return to the vision. Let it be your lullaby. Whisper to yourself, it is done. Because it is. The moment you accept it within, it is planted. And though you may not see it immediately, it is growing. Trust the process. Trust the seed. Trust the unseen. Do not measure with the outer eye. The eyes of flesh will deceive you. Look instead with the eyes of imagination. They see deeper, clearer, truer. And they always see in alignment with what you choose to believe. So choose wisely, lovingly. Believe the best. This is how you ask the universe. Not by knocking on a door hoping someone will hear you, but by walking through the door as if it were already open. You act from the state, not toward it. You be before you see. That is the divine paradox. You become the receiver by believing you already have. Let tonight be a sacred ritual. Not just another night of sleep, but a holy communion with the source of all creation. As you rest, you create. As you sleep, you instruct. And what you instruct with feeling, with faith, will return to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You are never asking in vain. You are always heard, because the one you ask is not separate from you, it is you, in your highest form. So fall asleep, not as one who wakes, but as one who knows, not as one who hopes, but as one who lives in the certainty of the unseen. And when you wake, carry that feeling with you. Let it color your day. Let it guide your steps. Let it remind you of who you truly are, a creator, a chooser, a dreamer who dreams awake. And when doubt knocks again, as it will, return again, return to the vision, return to the silence, return to the state. That is your sanctuary, your power, your birthplace of miracles. The more you live there, the more the world will shift to meet you. The universe does not resist your desire, it reflects your belief. So believe well. Now, as sleep gently embraces you, breathe deeply. Inhale the reality of your desire fulfilled. Exhale every story that says it isn't so. And as you drift, let your final thought be not of lack, but of love. Not of waiting, but of wonder. Not of trying, but of knowing. And as you drift deeper into the embrace of sleep, feel yourself relaxing not only your body, but your identity. The version of you that felt unworthy, that doubted, that waited endlessly, that version is melting away. In its place rises a new self, the one who knows that all things are possible, that the universe is already conspiring in their favor. There is nothing you must earn. There is no proving required. The asking is in the being. The receiving is in the resting. When you say, I am, you do not speak idle words. You speak from the source of all creation. I am is the beginning of everything that follows, the doorway through which desire steps into form. So tonight, as you lie still, choose your I am wisely. Let it be rooted in fulfillment. Let it rise from love. Say within yourself, I am wealthy. I am loved. I am free, not as affirmations of what already is in the eternal now. This present moment is your point of power. The future is only the unfolding of the state you dwell in now. The world bends itself to that state, not the other way around. So you do not wait for the world to show you evidence. You become the evidence. You live even in silence as if it were already done, because in the unseen it is. Feel the weight of having it. Feel the ease, the comfort, the relaxation that comes when you no longer need to chase. It is yours. There is nothing more to do but be. This is not about intensity, it is about alignment. You are aligning with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. That version does not try, that version simply knows. And in that knowing, the bridge of events begins to form. You will not see it all at once. That is not your task. Your task is to hold the state, to return to it when shaken, to trust it more than appearances. Life will rearrange itself around your dominant assumption. You are not subject to fate. You are subject to faith. What you accept as true becomes the law of your world. So rest tonight in that acceptance. There is no desire placed in your heart that is not already yours in spirit. The moment you desire a thing, the way to it is made, not by force, but by assumption. You become a magnet, a lighthouse, a signal calling forth what matches your internal frequency. And you adjust that frequency, not by effort, but by feeling. So let the feeling rise within you now. Let it soak into your skin, your bones, your breath. Feel the joy of it, the wholeness, the peace. Imagine a scene that implies it is done. Not a scene where you're still wanting, still hoping, but a scene that can only exist if the desire has already been fulfilled. That is your scene. That is your answer. That is your prayer. And when you find that scene, when it feels real, natural, inevitable, repeat it. Loop it gently in your mind like a lullaby. Let it be the last thing you think of before sleep takes you. Let it carry you across the threshold between the conscious and the subconscious. For once the subconscious accepts it, it will express it. It may come through unexpected means. It may appear suddenly or subtly, but it will come. because you have spoken in the language it understands, the language of feeling, of belief, of knowing. The universe does not respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. It mirrors the posture of your heart. So tonight, do not wait for signs. Be the sign. Do not ask when. Rest in the now. The now is the womb of eternity, and in it all things are born. The future is but the echo of this present state. Change the state, and the future must shift to match. It is law. If you want something to be different tomorrow, you must feel different tonight. You must occupy the new self, the one who already has it, lives it, knows it. You are not becoming that person, you are revealing that person. They already exist in you, waiting for you to recognize them, and you do that by assuming their identity, not later, but now. This is the sacred art of asking. It is not done with noise, but with silence, not with effort, but with ease, not with waiting, but with embodying. You ask by being, you receive by remaining. Let the world fall away, let the doubts dissolve, let the vision rise. You will know it's working, not by what you see, but by how you feel. A calm confidence, a gentle knowing, a subtle joy, these are the signs. When the desire no longer feels far, when it no longer feels like a wish, but like a memory, you are there. And from that state, the world will take shape around you. What once seemed impossible will become natural. What once felt far away will feel close. People, ideas, opportunities, they will flow to you, not because you chased them, but because you aligned with them. The outer is drawn to the inner. The outer bends to the inner. You are the cause. Everything else is effect. So continue now, lying in the warmth of this truth. Continue to feel as though it is done. If your mind wanders, bring it back gently. No judgment, no frustration, just return. Return to the feeling, return to the scene, return to the state. This is your holy work. This is your night prayer. Not words, but embodiment. You are not asking a distant force to grant your desire. You are activating the infinite within. You are claiming what has always been yours. Your imagination is not idle, it is divine. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself as you. And when you use it with faith, with feeling, with focus, mountains move. Even now, as you lie still, things are changing. The unseen is working on your behalf. The pattern is shifting, the path is clearing. All because you dared to feel it real. All because you entered the state of the wish fulfilled and made it your dwelling place. There is no greater act of creation than this. You do not need to worry. You do not need to watch the clock. Creation is finished. You are simply selecting your portion. And once selected, it must be delivered. It may come wrapped in mystery. It may come by way of delay. But come it will if you do not waver. You are not at the mercy of the world. You are the author of it. Your beliefs, your assumptions, your inner states, these are the pen and ink. Use them wisely. Use them lovingly. For what you imagine tonight will echo through time. So lie still. Breathe deeply. Let every breath carry you further into your new self. Let every beat of your heart anchor the truth that it is done. And should you wake tomorrow to the same world, do not be dismayed. The seed takes time to grow. But the moment you planted it, it began. Trust that. Trust yourself. And if the world challenges your assumption, do not argue with it. Do not plead or panic. Return to your state. That is where your power is. The world must catch up to it, but it cannot resist it. The inner state always wins, always. So tonight, ask not by questioning, but by declaring. Declare silently that it is done. Let your soul rejoice, let your heart rest, and let sleep carry you deeper into the world you have chosen, the world that already exists in you, the world that now begins to move toward you, because you dared to live in the end. And as your body falls deeper into slumber, know this: your work is done. You have asked, you have felt, you have assumed, and now you receive. In dreams, in signs, in whispers, in miracles. Let the old self sleep. Let the new self rise. Let the fulfillment begin. There is nothing more for you to chase. In this moment, your only work is to rest in the awareness of fulfillment. You are not practicing wishful thinking. You are partaking in divine remembering. You are recalling who you are before the world taught you limitation. You are tuning in to the version of yourself that lacks nothing, the version that knows deeply, effortlessly, that what is desired is already done. And as you recline in that knowing, your very vibration becomes a silent magnet to all that matches it. This is not magic, this is law, silent, impartial, unfailing law. It responds to your inner conviction, not your outer effort. It echoes back to you not what you say in passing, but what you assume in being. So what you bring to sleep each night becomes the blueprint of your tomorrows. If you carry fear, fear is built. If you carry lack, lack is carved. But if you carry love, if you carry joy, if you carry the sweet ease of the answered prayer, then that is what shall rise before you. You have asked, and asking is done through feeling. The moment you align with the version of you who already has, already is, already knows, you have made your request. There is no need to repeat it over and over in desperation. That is not trust. That is anxiety wearing the mask of intention. Let your desire breathe. Let your imagination do its sacred work. Trust that the inner movement you made tonight will ripple through the field of consciousness and bring to you what you have already lived within. It does not matter if you have tried before. It does not matter how many days you have waited or how long you've been told no. Those are old echoes. They belong to the former self, the one you are now letting go of. You are not who you were. You are who you assume yourself to be in this holy moment before sleep. And the beauty of this gift is that no one can do it for you, and no one can take it from you. You are the author, the speaker, the director of this inner script. And once the scene is set, the cast and the setting and the dialogue will follow in your waking world. You do not go to the universe as a beggar. You go as one with the authority of being. You are not trying to become something. You are revealing what is already within you. Every desire is a seed already encoded with the fruit. You are not making it happen. You are allowing it to unfold by stepping into the feeling of it being so. And as you sleep in that feeling, the subconscious accepts it as law. The subconscious is the soil. It does not choose what is planted. It only brings forth what is given to it with belief. And tonight, as you plant the image, the emotion, the knowing of your fulfilled desire, you are handing the seed to that sacred ground. You do not need to check on it in the night. You do not need to ask again in the morning. You simply need to know that the work is done and the harvest is inevitable. What you imagine consistently with emotion and certainty will come to pass. It does not come through striving or stress. It comes through alignment, through allowing, through acceptance. The more natural it feels to you, the more effortlessly it flows to you. So let it feel natural. Let it feel as ordinary as breathing, as sleeping, as waking. Let the state of the wish fulfilled become your new normal. And should the world still look the same tomorrow, smile anyway, because your reality begins not with what you see, but with what you believe. And belief, true belief, is blind to delay. It does not flinch when the evidence is not yet visible. It walks as if the path is already laid. It speaks as though the promise is already kept. It acts in harmony with the unseen, knowing that what is real in imagination must become real in time. You do not have to figure out how. The how is not your concern. The how belongs to the unseen forces, the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. Your only task is to dwell in the end, to see, feel, and live from the place where it is already done. You do not have to know the steps. The steps will appear as needed, sometimes so naturally that you won't even recognize them as steps. You may find yourself guided to make a call, to say yes to something you would have ignored before, to turn left instead of right. These are not accidents. These are movements born from the state you assumed. When you change the inner, the outer changes. Not always through lightning, but often through whisper. Be still enough to hear it. There is no distance between you and your desire, except the one your mind creates. The moment you dissolve that distance in your imagination, the moment you become one with the outcome, the path is formed. And what was once a dream becomes memory. You will one day look back on this night and know that it was the moment it all changed, not because something happened outside of you, but because something shifted within. So feel it again now. Let the vision return. Let the scene play out in your mind like a sacred film, one you've seen 1,000 times because it's yours. Feel the weight of it, the colors, the temperature of the air, the tone of the voice speaking to you, the scent in the room, the texture of joy. Let it be vivid, let it be alive, let it be so familiar that the waking world begins to mold itself around it. You are not asking for something you do not have. You are claiming something that already exists in consciousness. You are stepping into the room where your desire has always waited for you. And as you enter it in imagination, your whole vibration shifts. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently. Not because you are pretending, but because you have remembered who you really are. The universe is not ignoring you, it is waiting for you to be in tune. It is always responding, always reflecting. And once you change what you accept as true about yourself, your world cannot help but change in return. So accept it now. Accept the new story, the new reality, the new identity, and let it sink so deep that it becomes effortless. Do not look to the future with longing, look to it with recognition. The future you desire is the child of your present assumption. Love it now and it will grow. Tend to it now and it will flourish. But if you return to doubt, to fear, to waiting, then that too shall bear fruit. So be mindful of what you entertain. Your mind is the gate. Guard it with love. And when morning comes, walk as the one who has, speak as the one who knows, move as the one who lives in the end, not for show, not for performance, but because it is now who you are. You have become it in imagination. And all that remains is for life to catch up. Every night offers this doorway. Every sleep is a sacred chance to recreate. You are never bound to what was. You are always free to assume something new. And the moment you do, the universe bows in agreement. It conspires, it shifts, it opens the way, because creation is finished, and you are simply selecting the part of it that matches your state. So lie there now in perfect stillness and let the feeling take you over one more time. Let it fill your heart, your breath, your entire being. There is nothing more to prove, nothing more to ask. You have become the one who already knows it is done. And that is the most powerful thing you can do. You have spoken to the universe in the only language it truly hears, the language of feeling. And in that sacred whisper, your destiny is rewritten. Let yourself drift deeper into the feeling now, where nothing is missing, where nothing is lacking. In this inner sanctuary, you are complete. The desire has already fulfilled itself within you, and there is no separation between what you seek and who you are. Feel that unity, feel that merging. There is no striving here, no hoping, only being. This is your most powerful tool. You do not need to see immediate results to know something has shifted. The very fact that you feel different is evidence enough. The change always begins within. You may not notice it in the outer world right away, but something in you has changed. And because you have changed, the world must change with you. It may be slow, it may be sudden, but it is sure. The rhythm of the universe does not falter. It is always orchestrating, always responding to the impressions made upon your inner self. So tonight, do not ask as if you are in lack. Assume from the position of fullness. Let your very breath become a declaration that it is done. Inhale the reality of it. Exhale the resistance to it. Each breath becomes a quiet affirmation, each moment a testament to your faith. There is no power outside of you greater than the one within you. That creative center is not far away in some distant realm. It lives and breathes within your consciousness. When you imagine, when you feel, when you believe, you are activating it. You are initiating the unseen mechanics of manifestation. This is not fantasy. This is function. This is how the inner world impresses upon the outer. So when you lie here tonight, you are not merely falling asleep. You are sowing the future. You are communing with the divine in you, the part of you that has never doubted, never feared, never been touched by time or limitation. And this part of you, this eternal self, answers not with words, but with form. You feel it real, and it becomes real. You live it within, and it lives without. Let your imagination become your truest sense. Let it be more real than what you see with your eyes or hear with your ears. These outer senses are delayed reflections of what you first perceive in the spirit. Imagination is your first sight. What you see there, clearly and consistently, must crystallize in time. And so feel it again, whatever it is you have asked for, whether health, love, abundance, peace, purpose. Feel the relief of it, the celebration, the deep satisfaction that comes only after a desire is realized. Let yourself be surprised by joy. Let yourself sink into that reality so fully that when you open your eyes tomorrow, your first instinct is gratitude, not need. Your mind may attempt to pull you back to the familiar, to the safe, to the logical, but you must remind it gently, this is your new truth. This is your new dwelling place. This is your chosen state. And you will return to it again and again until it becomes your only home. Because that is how it happens, not by force, but by familiarity. You rehearse the scene of your fulfillment until it becomes natural, second nature. Not because you are forcing it to happen, but because it has already happened within, and you are now simply remembering what has always been yours. This is not effort, this is rest. This is not striving, this is allowing. You are not in conflict with reality, you are reshaping it by choosing a different lens, a different story, a different identity. And that choice is yours, always, no matter the past, no matter what has been. You can choose again, you can imagine again, and in doing so you give new instructions to the universe. Do not let the old thoughts echo. Silence them with vision. Replace them with feeling. Whenever doubt knocks, answer it with the certainty of your inner experience. What you feel in imagination carries more weight than what you see in the world, because the world is delayed. It is old news. It is the afterglow of what you used to believe. But now you believe something new. Now you believe in the power within you to shape and create. You believe in your ability to speak in the language of emotion and be heard. And so you have already been heard. You have already received. And all that's left is for the outer to catch up to the inner. There is a sacred timing to all things, but it is never a punishment. Delay is not denial. It is preparation. It is orchestration. It is the unseen arranging itself for your benefit, and so you wait, not in anxiety, but in faith, not in longing, but in confidence. You wait as one who knows the promise has already been kept. You may not see how the pieces will come together. You don't need to. That is not your role. Your only role is to stay faithful to the end scene, the end state, the felt conclusion. Let that be your home. Let it be the place you return to, no matter what the outer world suggests. And you will notice something miraculous. Not only does the world begin to change around you, but you change. You carry yourself differently. You speak with authority. You make choices from a place of empowerment, rather than desperation. You attract what matches your new state, not through manipulation, but through resonance. Because life is not happening to you, it is happening through you, through your focus, through your assumptions, through your most dominant inner state. And now, that state is the wish fulfilled. That state is completion. That state is answered prayer. Even as you sleep, you are radiating that truth. The silent language of your heart is speaking. The seed is planted, the field is fertile, and the harvest is certain. Let yourself sink deeper now into that feeling. Let every muscle relax. Let your breath slow. Let the story of your future self play softly in your mind like a lullaby. You do not need to force the details. Just feel the outcome. See the evidence on the faces of those around you. Hear the voice of someone congratulating you. Sense the quiet peace that comes when a chapter has been completed, when something long desired has finally arrived. It is here, not in a distant place, but in you. You are the doorway. You are the mirror. You are the vessel through which the unseen becomes seen. And the more you allow that truth to take root in you, the more the world must respond in kind. This is not a one-time act. This is a way of being. This is how you live now, not in the shadows of lack, but in the light of fulfillment. This is how you think now, not from the pain of what is missing, but from the joy of what is present in spirit. This is how you dream now, not from the limits of the past, but from the infinite possibilities of the now. Let your last thought before sleep be this: it is done. Let it echo in your being. Let it settle in your chest. Let it speak louder than fear, louder than fact, louder than history. It is done. And because it is done in you, it will be done for you. You do not need to ask again. You only need to remain. Remain in the state, remain in the knowing, remain in the feeling, and everything else will come. Because everything else is already on its way. And so you rest, not just your body, but your soul. You rest in the assurance that the universe, your subconscious, the divine, all have heard you. And all are now moving gently, silently, inevitably to bring to pass what you have already received in the secret place of your heart. Sleep now in peace. You have spoken, you have asked, and the answer is already yours. And now, as sleep gently cradles you, let all striving cease. Let your heart be light, your mind at ease, and your spirit at rest. You have asked in the only way that matters, by feeling it real, by assuming the end, by living the answer before it appears. You have whispered to the universe without words, and the universe has answered without delay. So rest in that silent certainty, carry the feeling of fulfillment into your dreams, and let the night do its sacred work. For what is real within must become real without, and it is done. There is a hidden power within you, a force so great that it can shape reality itself. It is not found in the stars, nor in the hands of fate, but in the deep well of your own imagination. Whatever you seek, whatever you long for, is already yours, if only you dare to believe it so. The secret is not in waiting, not in hoping, but in knowing. You must live as if the answer has already come, walk as if the path is already clear, and rejoice as if the victory is already won. Faith is not a passive state. It is the most creative act of all. It is the unwavering conviction that what is unseen is more real than what is before your eyes. It is not enough to wish, nor even to pray with longing. One must assume with absolute certainty that what is desired is already present. This is the key, the great mystery that turns dreams into reality. The world you experience is but a reflection of your own inner state. Change that state, and the world around you will move to match it. What would it feel like if your prayers were already answered? If the love you seek was already yours? If the wealth you desire was already in your hands? If the success you long for had already been achieved? Can you summon that feeling now, in this very moment? For if you can, you have unlocked the door. This is not a matter of chance, but of law, an unbreakable principle that governs the unseen forces of life. Believe that it is done and it will be done. Step into the reality of your fulfilled desires and watch as the world bends to meet you there. To truly manifest, you must abandon the old habits of doubt and fear. You cannot ask for something while holding on to the belief that it is out of reach. You cannot pray for abundance while seeing yourself as lacking. You cannot seek love while feeling unworthy of it. The world responds not to your words, but to the state of being you dwell in. The moment you shift your awareness to the fulfillment of your desires, they must materialize. It is not enough to visualize, nor to speak affirmations in an empty ritual. You must embody the feeling of having received. When you close your eyes, do you feel the warmth of love surrounding you? Do you sense the freedom of financial abundance? Do you carry yourself as someone who already possesses all they have asked for? If you do, then the law is in motion. If you do not, then you must persist until the feeling becomes real within you. You must live each moment in the joy and certainty that your desire has already found you. When you wake in the morning, step into the day as the person who already possesses their dream. When you walk, walk as one whose heart is full of gratitude for the answered prayer. When you speak, let your words reflect the truth that it is already done. The universe does not delay in responding. It mirrors your deepest convictions instantly. What you accept as true within will become your truth without. The greatest barrier to manifestation is not the outside world, but the resistance within. Doubt is the voice of a mind still trapped in the illusion of separation from its desire. Fear is the whisper of an old self unwilling to let go of limitations. The mind will argue, it will seek evidence of lack, it will try to convince you that you must struggle. But you must be steadfast. You must refuse to give power to anything but the vision of your fulfilled desire. If you desire love, then be love. If you seek abundance, then radiate abundance in thought and action. If you yearn for success, then carry yourself as one who has already triumphed. The energy you put forth is what you receive in return. This is not a theory nor a philosophy. It is the law by which all things are made manifest. The universe does not play favorites. It simply reflects what you deeply believe to be true. The reason so many fail to see their desires fulfilled is not because they lack the power, but because they surrender to doubt before the miracle unfolds. They plant the seed but dig it up in impatience. They declare their wish, but then undo it with thoughts of fear and lack. The law does not work on hesitation, it works on conviction. You must hold fast to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, unwavering, unshaken, until it hardens into fact. This is not the way of the world, which teaches that you must see before you believe, but in truth you must believe before you see. Your external circumstances are the echoes of your internal state. If you persist in seeing yourself as small, the world will confirm it. If you walk in the assumption of greatness, life will rise to meet you there. There is no force outside of you determining your fate. It is you, always you, shaping your experience by the reality you choose to accept. Do not concern yourself with how things will unfold. The mind, bound by logic and reason, will try to force solutions, will attempt to map out the details, will demand proof. But the great secret is that you do not need to know the how. You need only dwell in the knowing that it is already done. The path will form itself. The means will come in ways you could not have foreseen. The world will shift to accommodate the assumption you have made. Every great transformation in life begins in the unseen. The tree exists within the seed before it breaks through the soil. The masterpiece exists in the artist's mind before the brush ever touches the canvas. The invention is real in the inventor's imagination before it takes physical form. Likewise, your answered prayer is real the moment you claim it as so within you. So, live now as though the dream has already been realized. Rejoice now as though the blessing is already in your hands. Love now as though you are already surrounded by the warmth of everything you have ever wished for. For the truth is, you are. The only thing that stands between you and your desire is the belief that there is a distance at all. Remove that illusion and you will see you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer. There is no delay in the fulfillment of your desire except the delay you place upon it, with doubt, hesitation, and disbelief. The moment you accept that what you desire is already yours, reality begins to shift in accordance with your belief. But you must not waver. You must not look to the world for validation before you believe, for the world is merely a mirror reflecting back the state you hold within. Every great achievement, every miracle, every transformation has followed this one principle. Live as though it is already done. There is no other path, no secret formula beyond this. Those who have risen from obscurity to greatness did not wait for the world to grant them permission. They assumed their success, they walked in the certainty of their destiny, and the world adjusted to their belief. To live in this way is to move beyond the limitations of the physical senses. The senses will try to deceive you, to tell you that you're still lacking, still waiting, still hoping. But your senses are merely the echoes of past assumptions. They do not define the future unless you allow them to. If you believe only in what you see, you remain bound to what has been. But if you believe in what you have imagined, if you claim it as real, then what has been will dissolve, and what must be will come forth. The law of manifestation is not about effort. It is not about forcing, struggling, or striving. It is about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and resting in that assumption. It is about dwelling in the end result, not in the process, not in the obstacles, not in the seeming delays. The moment you shift your focus from longing to knowing, from wishing to being, everything changes. Most people live in the constant state of waiting for a sign, waiting for circumstances to shift, waiting for something outside of them to give them permission to believe. But waiting is nothing more than the absence of faith. To wait is to assume separation from your desire. To wait is to tell the universe that you do not yet have what you seek. And so you remain waiting. But the one who lives as if their prayer is already answered never waits. They move, they speak, they breathe in the certainty that what they have asked for is already theirs. You do not become wealthy by waiting to see money in your hands. You do not become loved by waiting for another to prove their devotion. You do not become healthy by waiting for symptoms to disappear. You become all of these things by assuming them to be true now, by feeling within yourself the joy, the freedom, the peace that comes with already possessing them. If you wish to manifest love, you must first become love. You must carry yourself as though you are already cherished, already adored, already deeply valued. You must not seek love from a place of emptiness, for the world will only reflect that emptiness back to you. Instead, you must embody the fullness of love within yourself, and in doing so, love will be drawn to you effortlessly. If you wish to manifest wealth, you must no longer think in terms of lack, you must no longer speak of struggle nor entertain thoughts of limitation. Even before the physical evidence arrives, you must walk in the consciousness of abundance. You must feel as one who has more than enough, who is generous, who is free. Money is not a thing to be chased. It is a frequency to be aligned with, and that frequency is not one of desperation, but of certainty. If you wish to manifest success, you must no longer dwell in fear or hesitation. You must no longer ask if you are capable, if you are worthy, if you are enough. You must assume the identity of one who has already achieved what they desire. You must move through life with the confidence and authority of someone who knows that their success is inevitable. For as long as you question, you delay. But the moment you claim, the moment you know, the moment you embody your success, it begins to unfold before you. This is not a philosophy of wishful thinking, nor an illusion to escape reality. It is the very nature of creation itself. Every great visionary, every pioneer, every leader throughout history has understood this truth, whether they spoke of it or not. They did not rise by waiting. They did not rise by seeking proof before they believed. They rose because they believed first, and the world had no choice but to conform. The mind will resist this at first. It will say, "But I do not see it yet. How can I act as if it is already done when my senses tell me otherwise?" This is where faith begins. Not blind faith in something outside of you, but faith in your own divine power to create. You must silence the mind's arguments and lean entirely into the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Do not try to force belief. Instead, relax into it. Dwell in it. Let it become so real in your imagination that you can no longer tell the difference between what is seen and what is felt. And when doubts arise, as they inevitably will, do not fight them. Simply return to the feeling of already having what you seek. Do not wrestle with old thoughts, for what you resist you strengthen. Instead, shift your attention back to the reality you choose to inhabit. The more you do this, the more natural it will become. And soon, what was once only imagined will begin to manifest in ways so seamless, so effortless,